this is Ackley SamAttack4427 here with, well, another special video for all of you guys, and yeah, I've been holding myself back from making this video for some time now because I wanted to find the right time to actually talk about this subject matter, but I figure now is a good time for me to officially talk about this for sure. So yeah, I hope all of you guys are having a really great end of the month as we speak, to which, yeah, I guess as of now, we're already close to the end of this month right now, and trust me when I say I've got a lot to do for sure, and for those who are wondering, don't worry about a thing. I am going to be talking about A Quiet Place Day 1, which is already out as we speak, but my thoughts video on that won't be out until some point around in the beginning of July as we speak, so, but yeah, I'll be sure to let you know if once something's come up for sure, and currently as of now, I'm currently pretty much gonna be away for most of this weekend for sure, particularly right around most of today by the time I'm recording this, because I'm actually gonna be pretty much visiting my pretty much good friend of mine, Glenori. Yes, that Glenori, in case a lot of you guys are wondering, because she's pretty much going to be having a bachelor party as we speak, and right around next week, she's going to be getting married, and I'm actually going to go there in attendance for sure. So yeah, congratulations once again, Glenori, and I do hope the wedding actually goes well. I mean, I know it'll probably will, because, well, I'm going to be there, so. But yeah, I just wanted to get those two out real quick, but anyways, on to today's video. Now I guess pretty much, now I guess for what we're going to be talking about in today's video, to which I guess it makes sense because I have to do another response slash rant video on pretty much on this channel for sure, but trust me when I say the subject matter I'm going to be talking about for this one will actually interest you in such a way. Now to get you the full idea, of course, what I'm going to be talking about, do any of you guys remember this? Oh yeah! We're definitely talking about this as we speak. So yeah, based on, of course, the pretty much the little real sizzler that I actually showed off to you for sure. Yes, folks, I think it's about time that we talk about something revolving around Thomas the Tank Engine for sure. And yes, by the way, this Thomas the Tank Engine for sure, but particularly on one of the canceled projects that we've actually now know more about for sure, which is of course what would have been his second movie supposed to be released onto the big screen, which is of course The Adventures of Thomas. Yes, folks, you heard it right there, folks. We're talking about The Adventures of Thomas as we speak, otherwise known as what it was originally called when it was first announced well over a decade ago, which is, of course, the 2014 World War II Thomas movie. So yeah, that's of course what we're going to be talking about for today's rant video as we speak, and the real reason for that will actually quite amaze you for sure, because not too long ago, a YouTuber that goes by the name of Derek Smith has recently put up a video about this canceled movie for sure, and even giving out the full-on synopsis on what the movie could have been about for sure. So yeah. Yeah, I guess that is actually a good reason on why we decided to talk about this for sure. And in case a lot of you guys are wondering, I highly recommend you check out that video that Derek Smith has actually put up on his channel for sure, to get you the full idea, of course, everything that goes down. In fact, I'll be sure to link it down in the description box below, and maybe even ping it in, of course, one of the comments that I will leave for sure, just to help you guys out. Of course, what we're actually gonna be in for sure. So yeah. But I guess I'm not here to, of course, pretty much do the exact same thing that Derek Smith did in his video. Oh, no. I'm here to give you guys a full-on, pretty much a full-on rant, of course, on how I feel about all this for sure. Now that we got the full-on details as we speak, to which, by the way, Derek Smith, if you're watching this, you're definitely awesome, and yeah. Mad props to you to get the full-on synopsis for the movie, all thanks to pretty much the film's screenwriter, Josh Klausner, for sure, So yeah. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get right on to the details for sure. Now, I'm pretty sure we all know back in 2011 for sure, and trust me when I say I was only about 2 to 3 years into, of course, my YouTube career, when I had my original channel years ago for sure, before it got terminated in mid-January of 2013 for obvious reasons for sure. But yeah, I remember when the movie was actually first announced around that time, and one thing to bear in mind, I was of course a freshman in high school around that time, and we were close to wrapping that up as we speak during that time. And I remember when I actually that a lot like everyone else when we heard the announcement, of course, the 2014 World War II Thomas movie. I actually got myself really excited for that for sure. Yeah, with of course not only the really awesome poster that we actually got, with of course a little tease of course what Thomas would have looked like for sure, with of course the caption "Arriving Soon" tagged on there, to which, by the way, the poster itself still holds up quite well. And let's not forget to mention the director of 9, Shane Acker, being attached to direct the film, is quite interesting, and not to mention the brief little sum up of course, of part of the story for sure on having it centered around a father and son type of a storyline for sure. Honestly, I think it actually is quite possible. I mean, hey, how could you actually cramming all that in pretty much a movie about this little blue tank engine for sure? So yeah, given to all that, yeah, we actually got ourselves hyped at a second attempt at, of course, bringing Thomas the Tank Engine to the big screen. Ever since Thomas and the Magic Railroad, we actually got ourselves really intrigued, even before the film got itself underway. And a lot like everyone else, we were actually quite sad that the movie actually got canceled for sure, not even making it to the filming stages for sure. So yeah, that left us with a whole decade's worth on some speculations from the fans and stuff on what the movie could have been about for sure. But again, thanks to that awesome video from Derek Smith, we actually now know exactly on what the movie could have been about for sure, all thanks to getting some details from one of the film's screenwriters, Josh Klausner, and yeah, I guess with that being said, I think since it's been added to, of course, the Thomas the Tank Engine wiki right here, as you can see from my phone, yeah, we're actually going to go over pretty much the small little portion of course, pretty much the plot for the movie for sure. So yeah, I'm not going to go through the entire thing all the way, but I'll definitely go through it in a short sum up for sure. So yeah, and I guess a lot of you guys are wondering, what was the plot for the Adventures of Thomas would have been about? Well, I'll go ahead and pretty much quickly summing up, looking over the pretty much the plot summary, of course, the Thomas wiki for sure. So yeah, the movie would have taken place during the events of World War II, where we actually see a young boy named Johnny and his father escaping London during the Blitz, where they're evacuated to his father's old home situated nearby a railway station. While there, Johnny comes across drawings of course, his father with, of course, yeah, pretty much basically drawings by his father of course, the engines with faces, but that wouldn't be until he comes across one engine, which is, of course, Edward, who helps remove a sign stuck on his wheels. As his way of saying thank you, Edward takes Johnny pretty much on a ride through otherworldly caves and waterfalls right to the island of Sodor, to which in the movie is a separate fantasy realm run entirely by trains with no people. Not even Sir Topham Haggis, of course, mentioned for sure. Not even shown for sure. But it doesn't stop there. Yeah, pretty much, once there, he makes his way to Timothy's Sheds, where of course he comes across plenty of the old characters we know, with of course the three of the best ones being James, Percy, and Emily, alongside some new characters that we actually would get for sure, which is of course a handcar trolley named Squeak, and the oldest engine on Sodor named Puffing Billy, with of course other new characters which that come up later in the film, which is of course a snowplow engine named Bertha, 4 military boats, 2 of which are a husband and wife duo, and 3 French minecarts which started a resistance using underground tunnels for sure. So yeah, and of course in the corner of course pretty much Timothy's Sheds, he comes across Thomas, who was sitting around disused right up until Johnny reignites his fire, bringing Thomas back to life. Thomas actually mistakes Johnny for his father, who used to travel with him long ago, and throughout the film, Johnny actually journeys back and forth between Sodor and the real world, telling his father about his adventures, but his father doesn't believe him until he reunites with Thomas until the tail end of the movie for sure. So yeah, but on the other side of the island is a big and grimy industrial city on the where of course the Diesels live, led by a new character and serving as the film's main villain named Smoke, whose evil plan to take over the island and smell all the steam engines is to, I'm not joking here, ambush the island by derailing the steam engines and shutting down the coaling plants in the mountains of Sodor. So given to all that, it's now up to Thomas, Johnny, and the others to stop Smoke and the Diesels from taking over the island. And that's pretty much the best that I can give for, of course, pretty much the plot for the adventures of Thomas. So yeah, given to, of course, all that, I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, how do I feel about this for sure? Well, I'm here to answer that quite honestly, because given to what I've actually heard for sure, this actually sounds absolutely terrible. Yeah, that's of course the best way I can actually describe it for sure. So basically, pretty much given to, of course, what I'm actually seeing, yeah, I think as its own thing, it actually does sound like a really nice steampunk fantasy flick that we can all love and admire for sure. But something associated with Thomas the Tank Engine, it just doesn't feel right to me for sure. So yeah, I guess given to, of course, what I'm actually hearing, yeah, really does really actually doesn't sound or feel like anything resembling Thomas the Tank Engine for sure. I mean, let's really face it for sure. I mean, yeah, picture this for sure. We've waited in anticipation for what the Adventures of Thomas, a movie about the little blue tank engine himself. And this is, of course, what we would have gotten for sure. Yeah. that's actually quite a big surprise for sure. And yeah, trust me when I say, yeah, I think given to all that, I think it actually does sound absolutely terrible for sure. And luckily enough, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be the only one who would actually think that for sure, because yeah, I think if anything, I think it would have been pretty much a lot of people say it would have been a massive rehash of Thomas and the Magic Railroad for sure, given to parts of course, of the plot for the movie with what we would have gotten for sure, and yeah, I can definitely understand that for sure, but for me, I think pretty much it's not just that for sure, but the best way I can actually describe what the movie could have been like for sure is that since I did mention that Shane Acker was attached to direct this movie originally, we could have gotten ourselves, well, Shane Acker's remake of his animated film 9, but with talking trains for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I could have actually described this movie as a whole for sure. And I remember some time ago when I actually shared that bit of detail to, of course, one person that I know of for sure. He actually compared it to, of course, well, the Chronicles of Narnia. Let me say that again. A 2014 World War II movie about Thomas the Tank Engine is also being compared to the Chronicles of Narnia. Again, let that sink in for sure, so yeah, honestly, I think give it to what I've actually pretty much what I've actually learned for sure. Yeah, definitely sounds absolutely terrible for sure, and yeah, I guess I'd give it to all that. I think maybe I guess the movie would have been better off canceled anyways for sure, because yeah, I guess if anything, maybe I think canceling the movie would have been a good thing after all for sure, because yeah, I mean, let's really face it for sure. I think give it to what I've actually learned for sure. It actually does have a whole lot of potential from what I can gather, but it really doesn't actually do anything that would have the look and the feel of Thomas the Tank Engine for sure. So yeah. But maybe I think it's probably for the best that we actually canceled it for sure. And again, going back a bit to, of course, what I've actually learned for sure. For starters, I really do like, of course, pretty much one idea, of course, keeping true to on what the movie pretty much would have had for sure. Just having a real good father and son relationship for sure. I can definitely get that entirely, and I do think there's a lot of possibilities with, of course, this one for sure, but however, making it pretty much doing the exact same thing as Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and of course making the Island of Sordor a separate fantasy realm like world run entirely by trains with no people attached. Yeah, I think if anything, I think it would have raised so many questions, like if trains can only live in that type of a world with no people, then how on earth do they work entirely, and how will they go about running pretty much by themselves for sure, without any drivers or firemen for sure, or even better yet, how will they actually do their jobs for sure? That just raises so many questions for sure, ever since pretty much the Cars franchise for sure. But at least with Cars, they actually did do something creative for sure, and of course, pretty much another thing that I want to mention for sure is that the villain of the movie named Smoke, yeah, basically, he would have been the equivalent to Diesel 10 in this movie for sure. But yeah, but then again, I do think the villain in this movie, to which in case a lot of you guys may be wondering, well, a lot of people have actually pretty much showed off pretty much the image on what Smoke would have been like for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up this image right here, and of course, what it's actually called for sure, just to get you the full idea on what smoke would have actually looked like for sure. But trust me, I'll get to the look, of course, the engines, and of course the world later on for sure. Though mainly more on the former, but you get the idea for sure, right? But yeah, the plot for, yeah, basically, the whole idea of smoking, of course, this movie is that, yeah, like I say, he would have been the equivalent to Diesel 10 in, of course, this movie. But the problem with that is that smoke kind of feels a little unnecessary for sure. I mean, he does have a potential to actually be a really good villain for sure, but I don't know, his evil plan to take over Sordor by derailing the steam engines and shutting down the coaling plants? What's the finding of that, and how does pretty much derailing the steam engines and shutting down the coaling plants a really good way for your evil plan to take over Sordor? How would that even work? But yeah, I think basically Smoke's evil planning, of course, this movie just kind of feels basic, but not in the right way for sure. And yeah, I guess with, of course, what I'm actually hearing for sure, it actually makes pretty much doesn't want to make me root for the heroes even more, but not really enough to actually make me understand the villain as well for sure. So yeah, and of course that's probably what I could say, but probably I think the biggest one of all is that basically in the climax of the film, to which I'll give off right here, it would have involved a relay race across Sordor between the steam engines and the diesel engines, with of course Gorgon, who has returned during the diesel's takeover, coming in to save the day for sure. So yeah. Honestly, I think, given to all that, I think it, yeah, clearly I think it kind of sounds a little bit more like a climax to a Fast and the Furious movie rather than a Thomas the Tank Engine movie for sure. So yeah, given to all that, I think basically I just really felt that a good chunk of this movie would have actually could have actually been insufferable all the way for sure. So yeah, I definitely know, given to, of course, what I've actually learned for sure with, of course, the plot, I really don't think this will actually work hands down for sure. But then again, pretty much going on to some things of course, some things that I actually think are actually quite good in this movie is that, well, for one thing, if you actually look up the characters for, of course, the Adventures of Thomas for sure, is that most of the new characters entirely, I actually do think there's a whole lot of potential for sure, and but particularly both Puffing Billy and Squeak actually do have a potential to be interesting new characters for sure. I can definitely see something like them actually show up in, of course, the TV show for sure. So yeah. Honestly, I think most of the new characters, from what I can gather, like not just Puffing Billy and Squeak, but also Bertha as well, I actually do think they actually do have a whole lot of potential for sure, and can actually fit quite well entirely, and I'll give credit that they actually are pretty much they are actually keeping themselves equivalent to the original main cast for sure in the TV show, like of course Thomas, Edward, Gorgon, James, Percy, and Emily, alongside the other two that would have appeared in it as well, like of course Toby and Henry for sure. So yeah, I do think that actually does sound quite nice. They actually wanted to keep it pretty much the lineup of the old characters that we know and love strictly to the main cast for sure, and yeah, I really do think it actually is actually quite interesting for sure. But going back a bit to, and of course, let's not forget to mention is that pretty much with part of the plot, I will give it credit that the first engine that we see in this movie is indeed Edward, which is actually a nod to, of course, when he first appeared in the Railway series books for sure. So yeah. But again, I think the massive problem for sure is not just for the fact that they pretty much they want to make Sordor as like a separate fantasy world with, of course, pretty much separate from the real world for sure, but also having World War II not only have it be in the setting of course, the real world, but also the allegory for the steam versus diesel conflict. Yeah. I really don't see the massive connection for sure. I mean, and yeah, even if it does want to actually have that connection, it actually does sound like it'll be way too dark and edgy for sure. Now, I know for the fact that pretty much the Railway series books and the TV show definitely did do some dark and edgy material for sure, with, of course, Season 5 being the main factor in all of that, hence why is, of course, a lot like everyone else, is definitely my favorite season of Thomas the Tank Engine for sure. But I think this whole idea of World War II being the allegory for the steam versus diesel conflict, honestly, I think it really doesn't work entirely, and it would be way too dark and edgy for sure. So yeah. And of course, yeah, and again, going back a bit to the positive for sure is that pretty much, and that's one thing I definitely need to get right on to talking about for sure. Basically, for the look of the engines for sure is that basically pretty much all the engines, particularly the main cast, would have actually looked like their engine counterparts that they're actually based on for sure, and with, of course, the main factor being Thomas the Tank Engine himself actually looking like a real E2 tank engine that he's actually based on for sure, and I guess for the faces for the engines for sure, instead of the regular gray faces as seen in the TV show, they would have looked exactly like, let's see, as of course on, basically on, based on, of course, what I've actually learned for sure is that they would have actually they would have had the faces look exactly like this screenshot for sure, based on Derek's video for sure. Just basically looking like the hatches of their boilers and smokestacks to make them look cool and edgy for the teen and adult audience for sure. Now, I will give it credit that, pretty much, for while I do like, pretty much, the look of the engines themselves, to, actually, make them look like their engine counterparts, which actually does, work, entirely, and, I can definitely, see that, happening. While the, faces, on the other hand, on, what they could have, looked like, for sure, honestly, to me, they actually did look kinda decent, for sure. I mean, okay, I think I know hands down they want to try for going for a more realistic side of things for sure, but these actually look alright. Not really something that I can actually get behind or dig for sure, but I think they do look pretty decent from what I can gather, so yeah, that's one thing I can give this cancel movie credit for. One thing is that they wanted to try to go a different approach for what the engines would have looked like for sure, to which parts of it could have used a little fine-tuning or a redesign for sure, while others I will have to say, yeah, I definitely do think actually is quite suitable for sure, and I actually really do dig that for sure, so. But yeah, I guess aside from all that, I really don't think there's anything else from what I can gather for sure, and And yeah, I guess given to all the hang, I think if anything, maybe I guess we do now see the real reason why on why the movie got canceled for sure. Not just Mattel now taking control of course, the Thomas the Tank Engine brand entirely for sure. So yeah, given to all that, I do think the movie, I actually do think the movie does have a whole lot of potential for sure, but I really don't think it would actually work well as a Thomas the Tank Engine movie for sure. So yeah, and of course, given to all that, maybe I do think canceling the movie would have been a good thing after all for sure. So yeah. No wonder why, yeah, I guess I now start to see the real reason why for sure, and I guess if anything, part of me does kind of want to feel bad still about canceling entirely, but now I actually want to feel bad, of course, pretty much on what the movie pretty much would have actually turned out for sure if it actually did get made and released for sure. So yeah, and given to all that, I think it would have actually pissed a lot of people off, as well as, of course, pretty much put off any fans of Thomas as a whole for sure. So yeah, and of course for myself for sure, yeah, I would have been entirely pissed as well for sure. I mean, let's face it, I've seen plenty of other stuff revolving around Thomas the Tank Engine that are way worse for sure. But I think this movie could have been pretty much a massive contender in between seasons 13 and 16 for sure, as the one thing revolving around Thomas the Tank Engine I personally hate for sure. So yeah, I guess about anything, I really do think maybe I think canceling the movie would have been a good thing after all for sure. Hey, I think with, of course, everything that we've actually learned for sure, yeah, maybe I think it is best to let the movie not actually be made for sure, and it is such a shame because, if anything, Hit Entertainment, who actually owned Thomas the Tank Engine at that time, were actually gave a lot of hope for, of course, this project for sure, especially with, of course, the Rip-O-Matic pitch trailer that they actually pitched to investors to what the movie would have actually been like for sure. And trust me, I actually did look at the Rip-O-Matic trailer on Vimeo for sure, and let me say right now, it actually is not that bad for sure, and I do highly recommend checking that one out for sure. And it's not just Thomas for sure. Oh, no. They were also actually doing the same thing with, of course, pretty much with their other properties that they actually pretty much have control at that time, with, of course, 3 of them being Angelina Ballerina, Bob the Builder, even Barney the Dinosaur was one major contender for sure, with their own Rip-O-Matic trailers for sure. So, and of course, given to all that for sure, I think if anything, with of course what I've actually seen with the Rip-O-Matic trailers for sure on what the movies on those other 3 would have been like for sure, is that, well, I definitely know for the Bob the Builder movie, it would have actually been like a full-blown action-packed construction flick for sure that I know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will actually get attached to. While for Barney, I think it would have actually done something a little similar to the movie Hook. While for Angelina Ballerina, yeah, I think it could have been like every other dance flick made specifically for families for sure, with of course a little bit of a Black Swan for sure. So yeah, but you kind of get the idea for sure, and yeah, and I guess if anything, with what I've actually learned for sure, yeah, maybe I think The Adventures of Thomas would have been better off being canceled entirely for sure, with, of course, well, Thomas and the Magic Railroad being the only movie released onto the big screen that involves Thomas the Tank Engine. And yeah, say what you will about that said film that I actually mentioned, but at least it does have the look and the feel of course, Thomas the Tank Engine for sure. While for the Adventures of Thomas, clearly doesn't for sure, so yeah. I guess if anything, maybe I think it would have been a good thing to have the Adventures of Thomas canceled for sure. But I wouldn't blame them entirely because yeah, even I say it myself in some videos in the past, I do believe that a full-on Thomas the Tank Engine movie made for the big screen can actually work for sure, and yeah. Hopefully, I think, with, of course, getting the right people attached, maybe we might actually see it do right for sure. I mean, hell, with, of course, with Mattel releasing, with, of course, announcing a new Thomas the Tank Engine movie with Mark Forster set to directing for sure. Maybe I think this could be an opportunity that they might actually get it right for sure, so. But I think there should be more than that for sure. I do believe that, given to, of course, what Mattel has actually done, pretty much not only bringing Thomas back in the mainstream and making it good again, right up until over a decade later when they screwed it over again and, of course, gave one giant middle finger to the fan base for sure. Yeah, I do think that there is some potential to make the new Thomas the Tank Engine movie actually work for sure. Definitely get most of the fans for sure involved in, of course, helping out, of course, the screenwriting with, of course, the screenwriters of the new movie, as well as, of course, help with the look and the feel for sure, and I guess for the latter, I say keep the idea of making pretty much these trains right here look more like their engine counterparts for sure. But maybe instead, yeah, I would definitely keep the idea of having the engines look like their engine counterparts for sure. But instead of having the mechanical faces for sure, go the same route as, of course, the Day Out with Thomas event for sure, and go for the gray faces for sure, like in the TV show for sure. Like I said, yeah, maybe I think it will be a good opportunity for Mattel to actually do something similar to the Sonic the Hedgehog movies for sure. So yeah, Mattel definitely take note on what the Sonic the Hedgehog movies have actually done for sure, and do it like that for sure for Thomas. So yeah, and on top of all that, yeah, also have the Island of Sordor be something in the real world that you can actually visit, as opposed to a separate fantasy world, because we already did that 2 times for sure. We don't need it again for sure. And maybe try to incorporate something that is actually like Audrey written material for sure. You know, something like from the original books, or maybe something from the TV show for sure. So yeah. There's a lot of potential with, of course, this movie. And again, you can do something cool with this icon right here. So yeah, that's of course what I think should go down for the Mark Forster movie for sure. And yeah, Mattel, I know you've done a lot of bad things for sure, but maybe I think it's about time that you should start listening to the fans for sure, and let them help out with, of course, the new movie that you're working on for sure. So yeah. I say definitely do that for sure. Maybe I think it's about time to for you guys to actually go the same route as the people making the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and start listening to the fans for sure. So yeah. But yeah, I guess right up until that day comes for sure. Again, I've been quite curious to see what the Mark Forster movie will have to offer for sure, but until that day comes, I guess our hopes for, of course, a really great Thomas the Tank Engine movie released onto the big screen is gonna have to wait a little while longer for sure, so yeah. And I guess given to all that, I know I've ranted long enough for sure. I think I'll definitely end this video right here for sure. So yeah, with that being said, I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think of the new details that we got for the Adventures of Thomas for sure? Do you actually agree and say that it could have been absolutely terrible and it should have stayed canceled all the way? Or do you think it could have been good and maybe I think deserves a second chance for sure? Or something like that. Let me know in the comment section below on what you guys think for sure. I would definitely love to know. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and quite a long one for sure. And don't worry, I will actually get right on to, of course, getting out more videos coming up, especially with, of course, July coming up as we speak, because there's a lot going on that I'm looking forward to. So I'll be sure to let you guys know on when those will come around for sure. But yeah, now if you'll excuse me, I've got some personal things that I need to take care of right away for sure. So I guess until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyTackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.